All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases, a two-man show today. It's myself, it's Tokyo Brandon. Our guy Bryan Leonard is I don't know if he's probably not in the air yet, but he will be soon. I know he is headed up to Toronto. We'll have to ask him tomorrow when he's back on the show. But basically, he goes and sees the Guardians play in like other stadiums. I think he's getting pretty close to having been to all of them at this point. So I know he's going to hit the Rogers Center this weekend. I think he's going with like Carm and Prez and some of the WagerTalk guys. Very jealous. I was hoping that I'm still down in Florida. I was hoping to be back because I would have loved to go to that with them. But so shout out to Bryan. We miss him today. He'll be back tomorrow. But you've got the two of us here today. Tokyo Brandon, how was your night last night?
The two guys who like to talk a lot can talk a lot today. Well, you won your 5% on Colorado. My 5% play pushed. I was on the under 5 in Baltimore, Kansas City, but I still picked up 8 units, and you won your 5%. So we're both doing quite well. Adam mentioned yesterday he's number 2 at WagerTalk in profit so far this year. I am number 4 and climbing because I picked up 8 yesterday. So we're both pretty hot. Good time to pick up the double play as well, because both of us have a 5% play out today. It's my last one of the month. Things are going well. I won KBO too. So on a bit of a roll here.
Yeah. And I think first of all, that's awesome. Winning day for you yesterday. I know you've been crushing KBO so far this year. I've only played 4 KBO games so far. I'm 3-1. So I'm pretty happy about that. Ahead in minor league baseball as well. Both of our 5%ers are later in the day too, and they're different games. So it's a great day to use the double play special, different games, both a little bit later in the day. And you pretty much, if you go double play today, it pretty much pays for itself. So we got the big 2-minute promo out of the way off the top. Let's get into some baseball games tonight. And we got to start with the Yankees Red Sox. It's the biggest series going right now. It's national TV. And you've also been pretty much right about both of these teams the whole year to this point. Red Sox, super inconsistent once again. Can't hit yesterday, although I'll chalk that up a little bit to a masterclass from Max Fried. He was awesome yesterday. I don't care who you are. Fried comes up and shows up like that, you're probably not going to beat him. So the finale of the series, Tokyo Brandon, do the Red Sox steal one, or is this going to be a Yankees sweep?
Well, you guys, if you follow me on Twitter, which is right down there, you would know that I had Max Fried ranked in my top 2 for the matchups yesterday. I put him out on my Twitter, and today I'm hanging out with Marie Osmond on my Twitter, and my OPS ranking Twitter or pitcher matchups are out. And Cam Schlittler is leading the list here today. So I have a red flag with the Yankees, though, because teams that win 2 in a row and have already clinched the series tend to let up in game 3 and give a game away. It's just human nature or something. I don't know what it is, but I would be all in on the Yankees today if it weren't for that fact. But if you match the teams up, the Yankees are hitting a lot better than the Red Sox, but the Red Sox bullpen is performing a lot better. So take Schlittler for the win, maybe, because you know he's going to go 5 innings. Do you think the Yankees can produce some runs against this pitcher that Adam probably knows a lot more about than I do for the Red Sox today? Looks like his name is Toll. You probably know about him, Adam, because you follow the minor leagues better than I do. So I think it would be perhaps a good day to take Schlittler for a win and get some plus money there, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had a feeling you were going to come in and talk about Schlittler. You've been high on him this whole time, and correct. I mean, he's even exceeded. So I'll just put these two pitchers next to each other real quick. Peyton Tolley and Cam Schlittler were basically on the same track in the minors in terms of they both hit Double-A at the same time, they both hit Triple-A around the same time, and they both got called up roughly the same time. Remember, Peyton Tolley got called up last year, made 7 appearances for the Red Sox. Things just didn't go well for him. But couple of things there. One, when you get called up as a guy like that gets called up later in the year in August, right? Like you have to understand too that these guys have already pitched a full season to this point. So I tend to like not. I take it with a grain of salt a little bit when a guy gets called up like mid-August and then maybe doesn't do well in September, because you have to remember they've already pitched an entire season too. They might be dealing with some fatigue. And now not only do you have to deal with the fatigue of like the full season, but you're now in there, you're all juiced up. You're like, I want to pitch well because now I'm in the big leagues. And sometimes it doesn't go well, right? You've been around the game long enough to probably have seen that a million times.
Yes. And pitchers, I've said it before, they are the creatures of habit. And getting called up for these young guys, it's like you feel like it's like that Eminem song, it's now or never. This is the time, right? So there's a lot of pressure on these guys. So I forgive someone who gets called up and just gacks, So second time around, usually guys are a little more relaxed. They know this isn't their last shot ever in their life, so they tend to calm down. But they generally do not pitch deep. So I wouldn't expect more than 4 innings from him here. Yankees bats are pretty good. And by the way, they probably have the best pure hitter in the entire game in their lineup. So I don't expect him to go long, but Boston's bullpen has been performing quite well. I have them ranked 9 out of 30 in current form, much better than the Yankee bullpen. So, man, I just have a red flag with the Yankees, because once you've secured your series, you're playing the last game. You've already won the series, so you don't have to win the game. So that's my red flag for the Yankees. They might gack it late, but I think Schlittler will be solid.
Yeah, and I just want to, I guess I'll finish up the Peyton Tolley handicap, because like last year, there also wasn't like a ton of room in the rotation for him and Connolly early and the other guys that they had at the big league level. So he actually only made like, I think 1 start, maybe 2 at the big league level, then got put in the bullpen. Didn't really work out for him. He's more of a starter so far this year. So here's what I like to look at in this scenario. Like the whole body of work from last year from Tolley was really, really good. Okay. He was awesome at AA, awesome at AAA. To start this year, he has been phenomenal. 0.82 ERA so far this year in AAA. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. His ERA is closer to 3. I think he had that one. He had 1 bad start in March. So his ERA in April, 2 starts in April, 0.82. But the WHIP is still right around 1. Batting average against is under 200. I mean, again, it's a small sample size, but so far this year, Tokyo Brandon, 3 starts. He's looked fantastic. He's gone 5 or 6 innings in each of them. It's a little bit tougher at the big league level. To your point, I wouldn't be surprised if he was only out there for 5 innings. It could be 5 pretty good innings. And if you think Schlittler's going to be good as well, maybe a first 5 under here, maybe a full game under. Both teams have good bullpens too.
It's 4.5, and under 4.5s have been cashing in certain games. And you don't give up a lot of runs when you only put 1 guy on base per inning. So, which is what a 1 WHIP is. So, yeah. Couldn't argue.
I mean, you look at the bullpens here, but even if you wanted to cut the game in half and look at the first 5, even when Cam Schlittler has been quote unquote not as good, right? He still went 5 innings and gave up only 3 runs. Like those were his quote unquote bad starts.
That's his
like
bad game.
People were like, all right, he's like, maybe he wasn't like as lights out as he was last year. I think he came out in the next start and threw 6 shutout innings. So you obviously more or less know what you're getting with him at this point. But like as someone that's watched a ton of Tolley so far, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and held the Yankees down for like 4 or 5 innings. So maybe the first 5 under is worth a look here.
Man, those Boston bats are cold and flaccid right now. So
awful at bats. Bad at bat after bad at bat. We talked about it going into yesterday's game.
Baseball. They're not taking smart at bats. They're not making the pitchers work is what they're not doing. You got to make them work. Even if you get an out, you got to make the guy work, right? It's a grind.
And also like, they have had their moments, right? Like on Monday, they put up 8 runs against the Tigers, but it's been very inconsistent for the Red Sox. And it's been more bad than good to this point, for sure.
Correct. There will not be a KBO show this year, you guys. We did it once. Adam and I did about 3 years ago, but we didn't get any traction. You guys didn't watch it, so
yeah,
we were like the Ropers show. We got canceled after like 3 episodes. No, we did it for a year.
If you're looking for KBO, I mean, anytime I put out a KBO play, I'm writing it up with full analysis. Tokyo Brandon's betting KBO on pretty much a daily basis, so you can get your, you can get your KBO. There's just not going to be the video version, if you will.
Get a double play with Adam and I. 3 days full access. You're bound to get at least 4 KBO plays in those 3 days. So
yeah, I was going to say you'll absolutely get your money's worth with that double play package, and no better night to use it than tonight when we both have a 5% around. So take a look at that. Tokyo Brandon, we got to go to this game because the Nationals once again over yesterday. That was kind of a crazy game because we hit our parlay yesterday. Shout out to us. We hit our 3-teamer. My leg of the parlay was the Braves. It did not look good early. Didier Fuentes came out and struggled in that first inning.
Yes, he did.
Somehow he hit his strikeouts over easily, even though he only lasted 3 innings. 7 of his 9 outs recorded were strikeouts. So it's like he still had his nasty stuff. And then the Braves did what the Braves do, put up a crooked number, and they win the game 8-6. What's interesting about this game today is we've got another young guy coming up from AAA. It's going to be J.R. Ritchie, who's going to make his major league debut. He's been phenomenal at the AAA level as well, and this is his first time. Now, this will be his debut game at the big league level. So now Fuentes came up last year for a little bit, was getting a second go-around. This is going to be J.R. Ritchie's debut. It's Cavalli on the other side for the Nationals. So, TV, you've kind of been printing money with the Nats so far this year. What do you do, Braves Nats here?
So I don't have a good enough sample size for either one of these guys to compare them to the batters they're facing. But we have the best audience for this show. You guys are the most knowledgeable audience probably of any WagerTalk show. And you are absolutely correct in the chat. The Washington Nationals first 5 innings, they're getting their team total is 1.5 every single day, and it just doesn't make sense. They're crushing it. I don't have the numbers in front of me. They got to be averaging more than 3 runs the first 5 innings of every game they're playing. And so the thing is, when the bookmakers are making numbers, when they make a team an underdog, they can't make their team total higher than the other team because they're the underdog, right? So this is the conundrum for the bookmakers with the Washington Nationals is they're going to be underdogs every single day because their pitching is so bad. But this is where we can take advantage as bettors because they have to be their team total has to be under the other team, and if the other team's 4.5, then they have to make the Nationals 3.5. Which they don't want to. So this is where we can take advantage. If the game total is 3.5, similar to the Dodgers today, which we will probably talk about later, but the Dodgers team total 3.5 for the game, 1.5 for the first 5. That seems to me like a crooked number as well. So the Nationals printing money every day. You know more about the young pitcher than I do, but Cavalli is definitely not ranked high in my rankings. Matter of fact, I have him ranked 18 on a curve of 30.
Yeah, that's fair. People were high on Cavalli. He was a good story because he, of course, it took him a while to get to the big leagues. He had some injuries. I think he was a pretty high draft pick way back when. It just, his path to the bigs was a little bit longer. Had a really good year at AAA last year. At the big league level, I don't know. I'm kind of. I feel like your ranking kind of is correct there. He's shown some flashes, but I just don't know if I'm fully buying him as like a really legit big league starter. I think J.R. Ritchie's going to be a really legit big league starter. Like, I'm very excited about this guy. So I'll talk about him for a second. Tokyo Brandon, the 35th overall pick in the 2022 Major League Baseball draft. He has been awesome the entire time he was in the minors. When I misspoke about the ERA during the Tolley segment a second ago, it's because I had researched these games already. It's J.R. Ritchie that has the sub-1 ERA this year. 0.99 ERA so far at AAA this season. In the minors to this point, in 244 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's got 263 strikeouts. The Braves have not rushed him here. He was phenomenal last year for Gwinnett. He is on my list of AAA starters in AAA right now. He's currently number 1. Number 2. Robbie Snelling would be number 1. Robbie Snelling in the Marlins organization. He's been awesome as well. I want to explain to you guys what the Braves are doing with their pitching this week to give you a little bit better idea of maybe what to expect here. So right now, Spencer Strider is going to make 2 starts in AAA this week. He started on Tuesday, and he's likely going to make the Sunday start as well. The Braves, which means the Braves have some luxury. They have some extra innings with the AAA guys because they're going to get 2 full starts out of Strider. They usually wouldn't get that. So what I think they're doing, because they have the luxury of doing it, is they're almost doing an audition of sorts. They're going to say, let's stretch the rotation out a little bit, and let's let Fuentes have a start at the big league level, and then let's let J.R. Ritchie have a start at the big league level. And if one of them pitches well, they may, because here's the thing. Remember last week, TB, when we were talking about the Braves and the upside this team has, it's because J.R. Ritchie's probably going to be in this rotation. Didier Fuentes might be in this rotation. Spencer Strider will definitely be in this rotation when he's healthy. So I think it's like almost like a, for J.R. Ritchie, it's like, hey, go out, do your thing. If it doesn't work, it's like almost like a no pressure type situation for him.
Yes.
I think the Braves are cheap here. He's really good. That's a cheap price on the Braves. You're nodding.
I'm nodding at your previous point. I don't know if I would back the Braves with an unproven commodity on the mound, but especially the way the Nationals are hitting. But like what you said, there's less pressure on those young guys when they bring them up because they know the Braves are going to score 9 runs for them. So you can gack 4 or 5 runs, and you're still in the game, basically. It's not like the Royals or the Red Sox where they're basically like squeezing blood from a turnip to get 2 runs a game.
That's a really good point. Yeah. The mentality changes as a pitcher. When you pitch on a very good team, and it almost feels like you're always going to get the timely hit, it 1000% affects these pitchers. Like 1000%.
These guys are mental. These guys are seriously mental. I've been around them. Believe me, they're mental.
Yeah, go talk to any pitcher that's pitched at a high level. When you as a pitcher feel like you have to be perfect because your team is not scoring, it is much tougher.
The one guy on the team that handles that is the closer. He knows one F up and he's done. Right. So those guys are solid, but every other pitcher is a mental wreck, basically.
Steve Duke, Nats team total over has been printing for sure. I don't think it gets there today. I would skip today. If J.R. Ritchie has his decent stuff, like this is still a Nats lineup that's probably going to regress a little bit at some point. I might jump off I think the money train might be leaving the station. If I had to be on, I think you get some Nats regression over the next few weeks. And I don't know that that's just going to print the way it has been.
It could be, but I don't see them 4.5 very often. Actually, I see them 3.5 more than I see them 4.5, to be honest.
Well, if you're talking about, that means the books are adjusting.
In general.
Yeah.
The Nationals are 3.5 on many days because they're underdogs all the time. Mm-hmm. If they're playing against, let's say, the Royals, and they make the Royals 4.5, they can't make the underdog 4.5. They have to make them 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is so that's what you hit on a good point, TB. The books, they're starting to make that shift. And now it's like you're going to have to start paying premium numbers. As we know, good things don't last forever. Edges and stuff run out. I feel like that edge is one that's starting to expire. And, I would just beware. I don't think it's an auto bet going forward. That's just my sort of thought on that.
By the way, the guy in the chat yesterday who asked if he should hedge, I told you guys the Mets were going to win yesterday.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
should
I
have
mean,
hedged it.
ultimately, we landed on the right way to play that game. Bryan Leonard used the team total under. I was
Yes.
right about it going pre-lip to Rojas, and it helped us hit the parlay. But yeah, I was thinking about that when they got the run in the 8th inning. TB,
You know,
it did feel like they were going to get it.
Yeah, we're not going to be right about everything all the time, but our analysis is generally pretty spot on in almost
That was
every
good
game.
analysis for that game. We pretty much nailed that.
All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we whiff hard, but generally we don't whiff that much.
All right, TB, I want to go to this game. Ohtani got over 17.5 outs. Nice call. I'm assuming that's directed toward you. Brian Hatt says disappointing loss. Hey, I said going into that series, like I felt like I saw good things from the Giants over the weekend. I liked the energy that they were playing with. Felt like they were in a really good spot in the opener, and then they come back and win again last night. So suddenly the San Francisco Giants heating up. Great vibes around the team right now, and but they here they are now having won the first 2 games of the series. So Giants Dodgers to you. Do you think the Dodgers salvage one in San Francisco, TV?
So instead of patting myself on the back all the time, I'll pat Adam on the back once. Yeah, you did have a nice call on the Giants. I did not think they were going to win yesterday, so that was a good call. Get our double play, guys. Adam and I both have a 5% play out today in Major League Baseball. That would be $70 if you bought them both separately, but you can get 3 days all access for both of us. I think it's 59, so might be 69. I'm not sure. Anyways, Adam will know. But good specials going on, and today's a great day to get that. And if you're asking about KBO, you can get all of our KBO plays as well. Adam's 3-1 already in KBO, and I don't know my exact record because I put pretty much a play out every day, but I'm winning KBO more than any other sport. So good time to get a double play. So let's talk about the Dodgers and the Giants. I actually put a free play video out on YouTube's on WagerTalk's YouTube channel. They haven't published it yet, but they'll be publishing it probably in the next hour or so because I sent it to them before the show. And I covered this game. Webb is one of those pitchers that I believe is overvalued by the book. He's a good pitcher, don't get me wrong, but he's got a 6 ERA right now, and against the Dodgers in his career, he's got an 850 plus OPS against these batters. So I think he's getting way too much credit in this. The Dodgers team total 3.5 is ridiculous. This is the best lineup in all of MLB. Yes, the last 2 days they've been held down by somewhat mediocre pitchers. I mean, Raup and what was his name, Marty or whatever, yesterday.
Tyler Mahle.
Yeah, Mahle. These guys are not elite pitchers, though. They're good pitchers, but they're not elite. So I think my impression of the Dodgers right now is like drop a Mentos in a Coke bottle. They're about to just explode here because 2 days, you can't hold this lineup down for 3 days, in my opinion. I think the over in the team total 3.5 for the Dodgers, or the first 5 over 1.5. I think a little too much credit to Webb, in my opinion, today. I don't know about the side, but I think the Dodgers are going to score at least 4 runs.
I got to bring this comment up here. Giants win 2 games, and now they are great. Trigger LOL. Okay, here's the thing.
He didn't say that.
But yeah, I don't. But here, I want to address this because sometimes I don't know if I got to go back. I don't know if I've bet on the Giants all year. I actually bet on them. I used them as our parlay leg on Tuesday. I can't remember if I've made a Giants bet this year. The point is, all I was saying is I'm a little higher than the market is on them. They got off to a bad start. I watched a lot of their series with the Nationals where I felt like the vibes were good in the dugout. The momentum was starting to change. And I called that out on Tuesday before this series. Said, hey, maybe it's a good time to buy in with the Giants. They've now won twice as big underdogs since then. I don't know what to tell you. If you couldn't take that from that, I mean, it's basically been exactly what's happened to this point. Now, are
Usually
they
it's
going to win?
fans that are overreacting at him. They're probably a fan of one team or another. You can't bet like a fan, though. You have to bet like a bettor.
Now to G Hert's point, it's like, this is kind of where I'm at with this game. I still think the Giants on the +1.5 run line have some value. It's only -130. They've definitely been the more energized team to this point. But the other side of me says maybe you've missed your chance to bet the Giants in this series. Kind of like you're saying, TB, how long are you going to hold down the Dodgers? It's hard to hold this team down very long. They're coming off of a series where they didn't play particularly well in Colorado, and now they're facing a 3-game sweep. So it's a tough one. I still lean toward the Giants with the +1.5 run line because, again, I'm pretty much just running it back from a third straight day. But if you didn't bet it on the first 2 days, I could see how it would be hard to jump in with that in this spot. So it's a tricky game. I don't have a huge opinion on this one.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't, what you said about, Glass now the Dodgers, I everything you said is valid. I just wanted to point out my thought process with the Giants, because even if they don't win here, I mean, listen, taking 2 of 3 from the Dodgers would be a big deal. What I've seen with like this team, they're it's almost going to be like they're streaky because of like, when things weren't going good earlier this year, Tokyo Brandon, they looked lethargic. They looked down. Their manager didn't know what to say in press conferences. And now, like, they're all having a great time in the dugout. That's contagious. That, something you should look for during the course of an MLB season, in my opinion.
One note is Freeman is out for maternity leave. I think he's having a baby, but he won't be in the lineup.
Billy Sanchez, throw us a game. He says, get on with the show. Quit talking about the Giants so much. Give us a game to talk about. You guys
are so critical today. We've been winning and crushing and giving you guys free information. You're like the guy at Costco getting free cheese samples, complaining that it's too salty. Like, stop already.
Well, give us a game. We're still gonna hit 6 games on the show. We've talked about 3 of them. So give us one to talk about.
Give me a break, you guys. Seriously.
Give us a game to talk about.
If you don't recommend anything, I'll say Phillies Cubs.
Yeah. Let's talk Phillies Cubs. Cubs, TB. Another series we pretty much nailed to this point. Go ahead. What are you looking at, Phillies Cubs?
So, man, the Phillies, they just can't hit. That's their problem. Like we've talked about this in previous shows. They have 3 guys who can hit right now in their lineup, and they're not producing. I think they got a little production yesterday, but overall, this team is being overrated by the books. So we've talked about earlier in the show about books catching up, this and that. They have not caught up to the Phillies. The books love the Phillies. They're going to tax the Phillies, and we can take advantage of it. Now, do you want to do that against Christopher Sanchez? Well, if you look at my Twitter X, I put out my pitcher matchup rankings, and he's towards the bottom. Actually, the Cubs kind of get to him, but they also, let's see. Yeah, I don't have a Cabrera, slightly better matchup than Christopher Sanchez, and Cubs are performing better. And Cubs bullpen, I have them ranked 4, and I have the Phillies bullpen ranked 15. So it's tough to bet against Christopher Sanchez because he's a really good pitcher. But if I were going to bet this, I certainly would take the Cubs, not the Phillies today. And I bet Adam agrees with me.
Yeah, the Phillies right now have a -50 run differential. I'm scrolling through quickly. The next closest team is the Kansas City Royals with -35. You can look at that a couple of different ways. Okay. It's April 23rd, and the sample is not very big, which I think is fair, right? The Phillies coming into the year, if you were going to go back to the beginning of the year, and you looked at the sort of National League win totals, okay, I think it went Dodgers, the Mets were up there, the Cubs were up there, and I think the Phillies were like one of the top 4 win totals in the National League in some order. I can't remember which one they were. So based off that, you have to think, okay, a -50 run differential to this point, it could only get better than that. But then I watch the Phillies play, and it's like, I'll go back to what I said prior to this series when I said, hey, Cubs is probably the way to look. And so far it has been. They, outside of Schwarber, Harper, and Turner, like, this is not a good baseball team. There's a lot of like, they're relying on guys like maybe like a Justin Crawford having a breakout. Real Muto hasn't been there. So it's like, I understand, like, okay, maybe we could buy the Phillies at the bottom. But then I watched them. I'm like, man, you take those three sort of superstar guys out, and this is not a great baseball team. Now, they might be able to do it with pitching. They're going to get Zach Wheeler back pretty shortly at some point.
Sanchez is good.
Sanchez is, yes. If there's a guy that was going to stop this skid, it's Sanchez. So it's like, I think I almost, like, in this case, might consider betting on him. Like, I show value on the Phillies here, Tokyo Brandon, but I someone in the comments is like, well, a lot of wishy-washy handicaps. It's like, well, it's a Thursday. It's not like there's a full slate of games. The odds makers are doing good on some of these games, in my opinion. And then you get these spots where, like, the Phillies come into play today. I think they've now lost, is it 8? I think they've have 8 losses in a row right now. It's tough, man. You have to decide, hey, do I want to take the value with Sanchez and maybe the better starter? But also, I have to back a team that's lost 8 straight games and has a run differential of negative 50. So, like, I lean the Phillies here, but I just don't know if I can get to the window with that one.
Yeah. The one thing is the Cubs do hit Sanchez throughout his career. Will they today is what you have to gamble on. But I think the Cubs have a much better chance of winning the game, and they're not priced that way. That's all I'm saying.
All right, got to bring Garth in here for a second because he took the cash out. He said, Book offered me a 77% payout for his over 12.5 losing streak. He took the cash out. Hey, can't go, but I mean, now in hindsight, I think that was a good play. You got your money, take the win, move on. And also, Garth, we did the Braves game at the top. So we already talked about that game. I would lean toward your over there a little bit today on the Braves side. I lean toward the Braves in that game. Tokyo Brandon, we are getting the people in the chat want some picks. They said so far.
That's not what our show is. Go watch something else. Sorry.
Here's the thing. The first 30 minutes of the show is more like we're breaking down the big game. Sometimes there's going to be a pick. Sometimes there's not. So far today, that's kind of how, I have a 5% play, as does TB. We obviously aren't going to tell you what that is on the show. Got to go to the WagerTalk site and get that. But we did hit a 3-teamer yesterday. We are going to put a 2-teamer together today. So you're going to get the picks. Tokyo Brandon, do you know where you want to go for the parlay? Let's get these folks a pick.
Yeah. Let's do that. I am going to go with the Yankees first 5. That's where I'm going to go. First 5 innings, give me the Yankees. They're hitting better than Boston, and they got a pitcher that's pitching lights out, best in MLB. Yeah, give me the Yankees first 5 for my pick. You're muted, Adam.
Sorry about that. I'm assuming that Yankees first 5 is just a money line you're going with.
Yeah, first 5 money line. It's probably not even a bad price. Probably like 150 or something, right?
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Yankees first 5 minus 150. Again, we've talked about that game as well. So I'm going to throw a different game out here because I saw a couple people ask about this in the chat, and then I'll think about what I want to do for the parlay leg. Okay. This is like the 5th person that's asked about this game. So last night I cashed with the Rockies. I've actually cashed big bets the last 2 nights with the Rockies against the Padres. On Tuesday, Tokyo Brandon, we both hit because you had the Padres on the money line and I had the Rockies plus 1.5, and they won 1-0. Can't get better than that result for the two of us right there. Yesterday, I had the Rockies plus 1.5 again, minus 110, a blowout winner on my 5% play. I was pretty fired up about that.
Great job.
I see no reason to go a different way today. Again, the Rockies are playing good ball. They're still undervalued. Waldron hasn't done much at the big league level. Would you just run it back with the Rockies right here?
The Rockies plus 1.5 has been printing money just about as often as the Nationals' first 5 over 1.5. Man, the Rockies I don't have the numbers, but Rockies plus 1.5 has to be one of the best money-making bets this season so far. So talk about today, Waldron got hammered in his first start, but he's not that bad. What is he, a knuckleballer? He throws some weird pitch, doesn't he?
Yeah. And what do you think? What is that going to play at Coors Field?
Absolutely not, because the thing about Coors Field and Mexico, because I do the Mexican League and it's even higher altitude than Colorado. The thing is, your breaking balls don't break, so you got to throw fastballs, and you got to challenge fastballs. You got to throw what the pitchers call challenge fastballs, which just means you throw it as hard as you can and hope that you beat him with it. That's what you got to do in Colorado, because your breaking stuff doesn't break. Maybe you can get away with sliders, but your slider is going to slide about 30% less than it normally does. So that's the thing. Knuckleballs are basically underhanding a wiffle ball to someone. So, I mean, he's going to get hammered, I think. I think he's going to get hammered. But whether the Rockies can win the game or not is a different story. Definitely an over here. I think what was it, 11.5? If it's 11, if it's under 13, I would definitely say an over would be in a play here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Matt Waldron can be good when he's on, but so he's pitched a lot at AAA the last couple of years for El Paso. Okay. And the PCL has altitude scattered throughout. Albuquerque is high altitude. Salt Lake City is high altitude. El Paso is high altitude. There has been games where he has been pulled in the first inning because the pitch just was not working. Like, not even before, it was almost like not even before he got crushed. It was like the manager has come out after one inning and was like, okay, like, I'm not even going to put you through this. Yeah, it was almost like, I'm not even going to put you through this. Clearly that pitch is not working today. You know, and again, like, that's
it's a gimmick.
Right. Now, it's not as big of a deal to the Padres because AAA is a developmental league. Their main concern is that he's ready if they need him at the big league level. San Diego doesn't have any altitude. Neither does most of the rest of the league. Right. So it's like, but they need him here, and he's got to pitch in Denver at Coors Field. Yep. So it's like, that's not good. I don't think that goes well for him. You know, Feltner on the other side, say what you want about him, but like, so maybe like, I guess the over, but you know, the thing I want to bring up, the Rockies quietly have a top 10 bullpen this year. They have a bunch of guys that throw hard. Their relievers have been really good, and they really didn't have to use the best relievers last night because they led big and won big. That's going to be my parlay lay. We'll hit one more game for you guys. I'm going to go with Rockies plus 1.5. It's cash for me the last 2 days. It's the rubber match of the series. I see no reason why this game can't be another competitive game.
Let me throw in a little point here. If you go to my Twitter and look at my starting pitcher matchup rankings, Feltner is second to last and Waldron is last. So I expect a lot of runs. I think 11 is way too low in this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, who could put you off of an over in this game, Tokyo Brandon? It's actually
nobody.
We should like stay on that topic for a second. How I think Tuesday night was the 12th 1-0 game in the history of Coors Field. That ballpark has been open since 1993. Okay,
yes,
that was the expansion year.
Hideo Nomo threw a no-hitter in that park.
When I was a kid, I used to like pretend to be Hideo Nomo in my backyard, doing that crazy rotation, crazy, like, you know, I think at 93, I would have been 7 years old. Think about that for a second.
Think about this. I came to Japan when Hideo Nomo was pitching in the Japanese league.
That's awesome.
I've been here forever. Anyways, sorry.
But just to make the point to your over right there. And again, people want picks, so like let's throw out a total here as well. 1-0. And then last night, I mean, I don't even think I don't think the game went over last night. I think it was an 8. Was it an 8-3 final after?
Eight,
Trying to
was it
remember what the final was.
8-5, was it?
8-3. It may have. So
8-3.
maybe it landed 11. Because again, I don't remember what the total was of last night's game. But like the point is, we haven't really had
It was 11 and a half yesterday.
So it lost. So the over would have lost.
It was under. Yeah.
We haven't seen the big like offensive breakout in this series. It very well could be off of Waldron and Feltner. Like this might be the firework game of the series.
Could be. And I can't argue with your Colorado 1.5 either, because man, that's been cashing like crazy.
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean,
Padres
I think
Padres are just a team I always avoid because I hate them. I mean, they lose me so much money, I can't stand them.
I've been screaming Rockies plus 1.5 from the mountaintops since the beginning of the season. So again, anyone that watches the show regularly should have probably been money. And
Adam puts his money. Adam puts his money where his mouth is because he put a 5% play on it yesterday.
Yeah,
that takes some serious courage.
Speaking of which, I'm putting my money where my mouth is again today. I've got a 5% or I love today. So do you. So once again,
double play, baby.
Great way to get both of those. So let's go one more game here before we still have time. We'll get a 6 game on the show. Let's go back. I know people are going to be looking for some daytime action. Here's a good one. Interesting one. Brewers Tigers 1 p.m. Eastern. Tariq Skubal for the Tigers, obviously. We know and love him. But what I consider to be an underrated Brandon Sproat for the Brewers, who even though he's off to a bad start this year, Tokyo Brandon, I still think he puts it together at some point. The question is, does he do it here? Does he do it on the road? And Brewers Tigers to you, do you have anything in this game?
Thomas, you're right. Yes, Hideo Nomo did pitch a no-hitter at Coors. That was pretty amazing. I think it was his first year in MLB too. He played for the Kintetsu Buffaloes here in Japan, and he was here when I came over. Anyways, regarding this game, how could you go against Skubal at home against a no-name pitcher? Yeah, okay. I understand that these guys like Sproat and, the Atlanta pitcher today, I understand they have a decent pedigree in the minors and et cetera, but there's no comparison in these starting pitchers. You cannot make an argument that he's as good as Skubal. You just can't. So, and I know you're not trying to, but I'm just saying there's no comparison. And man, Detroit's bullpen's playing well. Milwaukee's is not. Neither one of these teams is hitting though. That's kind of concerning. I maybe an under in this one, because if what you say about Sproat is true, like these teams aren't putting a lot of runs up. Forget and before everyone jumps on me, oh, they scored 8 runs yesterday or whatever. You can't say yesterday's the season. Okay. You got to look at it. It rained in Arizona yesterday. It doesn't mean Arizona is a rainy state. Okay. So you got to look at the big picture. These teams are not really scoring very well. So I probably an under. Anytime Skubal pitching, an under is in play, right?
Yeah, I want to throw some names at you real quick, Tokyo Brandon, to sort of illustrate your point. Christian Yelich, IL. Jackson Chourio, IL. There's Andrew Vaughn, IL. Okay, like this has been a Brewers lineup that's been without their best hitters, right? Pretty much at this point, a couple of them. The Tigers, we even talked about it, like they kind of started hitting recently. They've had a couple of good offensive games, but this was a team that collectively on the season has not really kind of hit to potential to this point. So to just talk about Sproat, like here's the sort of redeeming qualities on Brandon Sproat and why I think an under could potentially be in play. Brandon Sproat was in the Mets organization. Okay. He kind of got passed by like Nolan McLean, Jonah Tong. Like, he suddenly became dispensable to them. And I think via trade, I forget who they got. I forget exactly how he got over there. But he gets to the Brewers. Now, the reason that's important to me is because he showed signs in the Mets organization of being a guy that would be in a starting rotation. The Brewers are really good in developing pitchers. They're very good in taking a guy that failed in another organization and turning them into a solid pitcher for them. Go look at Quinn Priester, right? Like, he's a perfect example. Two organizations discarded him, threw him in the trash. Brewers get him. Now he's basically a rotation guy when he's healthy. Last time out for Sproat, he turned the corner. I bet on the Brewers in that game. I won 6 2/3 of 1-run ball, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. I wouldn't be surprised if he pitched well today, but yeah, Scooble on the other side against a Brewers lineup that's been without some guys. I lean Brewers +1.5, but the under kind of makes maybe the more sense right there, TV.
The thing is, the book knows that, so they make it 7 or 7.5. But 7.5 is a risky proposition in MLB. Even the worst team of the worst team in MLB can knock the socks out of any team in any other league, right? So we say, oh, they suck. These guys don't suck. No matter what team they're on, they don't suck. These guys are the cream of the crop. So a 7.5 is a risky proposition, but against Scooble, I don't think it's that risky. The guy is just amazing.
And listen, 7.5. I think that's the buy point if you like the under. You got to get 7.5 instead of 7. But like, there's not. I think there's about a half run of value there. I would make that total closer to like 6.9, 7, like on the other side of 7. If you can get a 7.5 at like -115 or whatever, -120, I think that's a reasonable look in that game.
And also, this is why I like our audience, because you guys are smart. I don't bet the no-run first inning stuff very often, but this would be a game I would consider it, actually, because nothing's guaranteed in sports, but Scooble's probably going to hold him for an inning, right? So all you got to hope is that Sproat can hold this kind of flaccid lineup down for 1 inning. It's probably a good bet.
Yeah. Listen, if Sproat can build on his last start, he's probably not giving up a run right out of the gate. That's what I would say. His stuff looked really good against the Blue Jays.
So yeah, ex Joe Pop, I would kind of agree with that.
Someone in the chat was like, why is the Braves money line dropping? Honestly, I think it's because people really don't know who J.R. Ritchie is.
Exactly.
He's real.
They think it's J.R. Richardson. It's not J.R. Richardson. If it was J.R. Richardson, they'd be favored.
He is. He's solid. And again, like, you're talking about getting a guy that's unknown but backed by a team like the Braves, who's just playing as good as any team in the league. I think I could only bet the Braves on the money line there. That would be the only way I could go in that game. All right, Tokyo Brandon, we have turned it around. I believe two parlay winners already this week. We've erased
2 in a row.
Yeah, was it 2 in a row? Okay,
2 days in a row.
All right. So we have erased the deficit. We are now down -0.7 units, or it basically, with the way we do it is like we're just every dollar is $1 basically, and if you were to play every parlay the same throughout the course of the year, right now you'd be down 0.7 units. Okay, we want to keep track of that because last year we finished the year with a net positive. We're trying to beat it this year. So it's a 2-teamer for us today, Tokyo Brandon, but very important. If we can hit this 2-teamer, we're in the plus going forward. So the 2-team parlay for today, I am going to go with Rockies +1.5 at -120. Tokyo Brandon is going to go with Yankees on the money line, first 5. So he's targeting Cam Schlittler in that matchup. He's going to go Yankees, first 5 money line -150. I'm going Rockies +1.5 for the game, -120. TB and I both have 5%ers today. No better day to use the double play. I mean, it's going to pay for itself right away this afternoon or today. Both of our games a little bit later in the day. So check that out. And we'll be back with the 3-man show when Bryan Leonard touches down north of the border tomorrow morning. So we will see you guys then, 9 a.m. Eastern, for more Total Bases. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the morning.